Superstores of Angels Baseball. Nobody beats Howard's. By your Southern California Hyundai dealers. Want more MPG? Hyundai has it. With 7 models, you get 30 miles per gallon or more. Hyundai's now the most fuel-efficient car maker in America. And by Shakey's Pizza, who competed in 22 World Series games and won 10. Go to Shakey's.com/trivia. Angels just about ready to take the field here in Game 2 of this 3-game set between the Toronto Blue Jays and Los Angeles Angels. There's Ricky Romero, the product of East Los Angeles and Cal State Fullerton, walking in toward the first base dugout. Angels roll into this one with a 21-26 record and lost now 2 in a row. They dropped that game Sunday afternoon. With an opportunity to gain a game on the Texas Rangers, did not do so. The Rangers were idle last night. Dropped a half game with the loss, that 6-0 shutout at the hands of Brett Cecil and the rest of that Toronto Blue Jays bullpen. There's Meiser Asturias at third base, but we'll take a look at the Toronto Blue Jays lineup. Cito Gaston runs it out. Jeremy Reed down in left field. Aaron Hill at second base. Adam Lynn, 7 home runs this year. Career high 35 last year. Vernon Wells in center. Lyle Overbay at first. Alex Gonzalez at shortstop. Jose Bautista in right. John Buck doing the catching with Edwin Encarnacion at third base, rounding out that starting 9 for the 27-20 Blue Jays, who come in 6 games back of the American League East. They'll be facing the young Irvin Santana, who's thrown the ball well of late.
Yeah, last 2 games out, he's been dominant. Good tempo, great fastball. Getting up there around 96 mile an hour. Very good sliders, changeup. His command in the zone has been very good. He has thrown a complete game already this season up there in Toronto against the same club. A very aggressive club, I might add, in the Toronto Blue Jays. They swing a lot of first pitches. The key is fastball with command on the outside part of the plate. Get some easy outs.
All right, here's the Home Depot doing more on defense for the Angels. Rivera, Willits in center, Abreu in right. Meiser Asturias at third base, Eric Ibar at short, Howie Kendrick and Kendra Morales on the right side of the infield with Mike Napoli doing the catching.
And Reggie Wells out there in center field taking over for Torrey Hunter. He's made some good plays. We saw him come in to the right and to his left, playing center field before for Torrey Hunter. His 5th start the season in center field. He's been noted a solid job defensively for the Angels this season.
Well, Torrey's missing the game today. He's back in Texas for the graduation of his son. He'll be back tomorrow afternoon. It's a 4 o'clock start. Mike Scioscia was talking about it, about growing up in the game and having family. He felt that graduation is one of those things that's very important for Torrey to go back, especially just to miss 1 game. So the Angels hope to have him back.
Yeah, it's definitely a situation where Mike Scioscia is all about family. And speaking of having a good part of that family back in the fold for the Angels, Meiser Asturias playing third base. Mr. Clutch with the bat, very good with the glove, playing third tonight.
Brandon Wood going on the disabled list with the hip flexor strain. And Jeremy Reed on the very first pitch he sees, lines went out to deep right. And there's out number 1. It's how the game started last night, except Fred Lewis got the ball over the head of Bobby Abreu in right field, hit off high off the wall, ended up in a triple. It was the first run for the Blue Jays.
Well, for me as a pitcher, even though that ball was hit well, an out's an out. Anytime you get that first pitch over and it's an out, even though if it's hit well or not, it's a good feeling.
And this is that type of ball club. The Toronto Blue Jays do swing away. They're not afraid to hack early on in the count. As Aaron Hill takes a strike. They managed just 6 hits in that ball game last night. Nice job by Joe Saunders. He kept it a 2-0 deficit. He ended up getting charged with 3 runs because the bullpen gave up 4 runs in that 7th inning. This is Asturias near the railing. Makes the catch for out number 2.
Good job by Meiser calling off Mike Napoli in the end, because it's a much easier play for the third baseman coming in as compared to a catcher going out of that crouch position and running over there. That communication between the two, the play was made. So that's a situation where Meiser coming back, Irvin Santana throwing a lot of strikes. It's aggressive in that strike zone. He's throwing 3 pitches to get 2 outs, all 3 in the zone. Now Adam Lynn going to be up here in a spot where he might be packing at the first pitch.
Lynn comes in with a .237 average, 7 home runs and 26 runs batted in. He was 2 for 4 last night with a couple of runs batted in. Had the sac fly that put the Blue Jays up in that first inning.
Well, he's a guy, if you're going to pitch inside against him, it's got to be above the belt. He likes that fastball or break it pitch down and in.
Here's the 1-1. 2 balls and a strike. Mentioned that start in Toronto back on April the 18th. 4 hits, 1 run. Almost a complete game shutout, except Lynn ruined it with a home run to right field. That one's cued off the end of the bat.
He got a changeup late in the game in the 9th inning. After he would throw that nasty slider to throw out the whole ball game. That's a pitch right here. You can throw a slider down and in off that back leg to get a swing and miss.
Irvin throwing 106 pitches in that game, striking out 6. On the verge of going 1-2-3 here in the first, and that one misses down and in for a full count. Vernon Wells on deck. 3-2. Popped him up. Isturis with the call. Nope, he gets called off by Ibar. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Irvin Santana. We head to the bottom of the first. Scoreless here at the Big Egg. Angels send up this starting 9 with Eric Ibar leading things off, playing short. Howie Kendrick at second. Bobby Abreu's in right field. With Torrey Hunter not in the lineup, Kendrick Morales moves up to the cleanup spot. Juan Rivera's batting 5th in left field. Hideki Matsui 6th, the DH. Mike Napoli doing the catching. Here's Meister Isturis. First game since May the 5th with Reggie Willits playing center field. Facing the left-hander, Ricky Romero comes into this one with a 4-1 mark and a 2.71 ERA.
Boy, he's been outstanding. 24 walks, 64 punch-outs, and 63 innings pitched.
A jam shot toward the hole. Nothing Gonzalez can do with this one. Once it got past Encarnacion, Ibar was going to reach on an infield single. So the Angels get their leadoff man on as we take a look at the defense now for the Toronto Blue Jays. We've got Jeremy Reed in left, Vernon Wells in center, Jose Bautista in right. On the infield, same as last night, Encarnacion, Gonzalez, Hill, and Overbay. From third to first with John Buck doing the catching.
Aaron Hill at second base will probably be pretty active here. Ricky Romero throws a lot of strikes, sinks that fastball, gets a lot of ground balls. So look for them to have a lot of opportunities to make plays tonight for the Jays.
Throw to first base, and Ibar is back. Romero spent 3 years at Garfield High School. And then all of a sudden, his last year, his senior year, went to Roosevelt High School in East LA before going on to the Cal State Fullerton. First round pick of the Blue Jays in 2005. And a lot of tickets left for many family and friends here tonight.
We hear about 300. That's a pretty lot of tickets.
It's pretty good tax hit nowadays.
Very good tax hit.
Ibar with a good lead over at first base. Howie, no ball, 1 strike count. He did not go, says the first base umpire, Jim Reynolds.
See that fastball up in the zone. Ramirez sneaky fast. He can get up there at 93, but settles around 88 to 93. Is a good curveball. a slider, and a changeup. Those all 4 pitches for strikes.
Romero took the loss against the Angels back on April the 18th, going 8 innings, giving up 5 hits, 1 earned run, 111 pitches. This one slapped foul.
A lot of times when you see a catcher that's put the 1 sign, which is always a fastball, when he makes a circular action, that's going to be the sinker. Sometimes when he's had a straight 1, it would be a cut fastball in on a right-handed batter. It's a changeup on the outside part of the plate.
And Howie goes down swinging for out number 1.
About Romero, so he fields his position very well. Not easy to steal back. He's only allowed 2 stolen bases this whole season, with 1 being caught also. Good changeup down and away at 83.
He is a strikeout pitcher now, 65 punch outs and 63 in the 3rd innings. You take a look at that Honda Exmo.
Well, it's great how it shows you how the rotation of a baseball and the changeup is compared to a fastball.
So Bobby steps up now with 1 out, 1 on. Abreu 266, 5 home runs, 21 driven home. Angels last night managing just 3 hits against Brett Cecil, Jason Frazier, and Scott Downs. Downs pitching that 9th inning, picking up a couple of strikeouts. Ibar's not been running a whole lot. 6 stolen bases. He's been caught 5 times. The Angels overall 7th in the American League in that category with 30. Bobby rips one into the alley in right center field. This one's got a chance. Vernon Wells cuts it off. Ibar's being waved around. No relay throw from Aaron Hill. Abreu with a double. The Angels just like that in the first are up 1-0.
And that's an encouraging sign for Bobby Abreu to get a base hit and a double off a left-handed pitcher. He's been struggling. Only hit 161, but stayed back very well. Trusted his hands. Didn't get out in front. Didn't guess on the pitch. Centered it into an area and drove it exceptionally well. An elevated fastball, but it was on the inner half. Well, Bobby to get through that pitch for a double. Big double there to get that early lead. Romero, who's been throwing so well, and Ibar sensing an opportunity to be able to score that first run of the ball game, comes around easily, giving the Halos that lead.
A double for Abreu, his 15th of the year, as Morales taps this one foul. Bobby now 2 doubles shy of 500 for his career. Once he gets to that point, he'll be just one of 4 players all time with 500 doubles, 250 home runs, and 350 stolen bases to go along with Barry Bonds, Ricky Henderson, and Craig Biggio. Pretty good company.
Impressive career numbers for Bobby Abreu.
Gentry was 0 for 3 last night. Team leader in home runs and RBIs. Has the count evened on him at 1 ball, 1 strike. Bobby getting a good lead at second base. Either Gonzalez or Hill holding him on. That pitch catches the corner. It's 1-2 now. Romero's 1-2, and Morales goes down swinging. There's that off-speed pitch. 2 punch-outs here in the first inning for Ricky Romero. Brings up Juan Rivera.
He's got great arm action with that changeup so far, staying on top of that pitch. I talked to Joe Saunders about last night, his performance, how he was able to make a turnaround middle part of the game. He said he had a tough feel for his changeup last night early in the game, but then found it later on along with his curveball staying on top of that pitch.
Juan 0 for 3 last night. Brings in a .241 average. Hits one hard to right. Bautista to his left makes the catch. And there's out number 3. But the Angels strike first. The RBI double by Bobby Abreu puts the Halos up 1-0. By CarMax. Now more than ever, the smart choice is CarMax. And by Carl's Jr. Charles Royal Black Angus Beef, crispy bacon, and 4 slices of melted cheese on grilled bread. The new grilled cheese bacon burger, only at Carl's Jr. starting at $2.49. Top of the second here at the Big 8 is 1-0 Angels. Vernon Wells to lead things off against Irvin Santana. Wells over Bay Gonzalez here in the second. Irvin had a 1-2-3 inning. 3 fly ball outs for Santana in that first. Wells off to a good start this year with 11 home runs, 33 runs batted in. Went 1 for 4 last night with an RBI. That pitch just missed outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Vernon's had to deal with some injuries throughout the last couple of years. Swinging and missing on that breaking pitch. 2-1 now.
What a good pitch, too. Vernon Wells was looking fastball there at the 2 fastball just off the outside corner. To a slider, it was a little bit further out, but that good break. Going fastball inside.
On the ground, the third. As Sturis has got it, testing out that shoulder. The throw is in time for out number 1. Time now for our FoxSportsWest.com poll question tonight. The Blue Jays have not made the playoffs since 1993. Will they make it this year?
It's a pretty tough division. Maybe you have to ask the Tampa Bay Ray fans, the Yankee fans, the Red Sox fans. They're playing very well under Cito Gaston. He was the manager that took that team to the World Series in 92 and 93. Boy, they had some unbelievable talent on those teams that won the World Series.
This one out towards left field for Juan Rivera. There are 2 outs. Speaking of the Tampa Bay Rays, they lost again tonight to the Boston Red Sox. They were shut out 2-0. John Lester picking up his 5th win. James Shields suffering a loss. So the Red Sox now have won 4 in a row, are now 6.5 back. The Yankees going into today 5.5 back. So that it is a very tough division.
We've seen already Jays so aggressive. They've made 2 one-pitch outs already in this game here with 2 outs in the second inning. So they're up there swinging.
This is a team that does not hit for average. 246 collectively, 11th best in the American League, but they lead Major League Baseball in home runs with 76. 14 better And the Boston Red Sox at the start of the day as Gonzalez takes a breaking ball through strike. And they also lead in doubles, 115 two-baggers.
Lots of extra base hits.
But they don't get on base that often. Just a .312 on base percentage, 12th in the American League. Although they are the top slugging team at .467.
Dwayne Murphy was a similar type of player when he was with Oakland, a guy that had a lot of power, hit the doubles, hit the home runs, would strike out on occasion. Similar philosophy with this club. When you talk about top of the ranks as far as runs scored, that's the bottom line. Hey, on base percentage, singles, that's fine, but runs and extra base hits is the most important thing.
This one down the right field line, it is foul. Well, there was a lot of talk, obviously, when J.P. Ricciardi was named the general manager. He coming from that mindset of Billy Beane and Moneyball and on-base percentage. And at the end of the day, that's all fine and good if you've got 9 guys that are all capable of doing the same thing, getting on base. But at some point, unless you're going to walk the world and bring in runs that way, you're going to have some sort of run producer come in the middle part of that lineup. Vernon Wells was supposed to be that guy, but he hasn't really quite put it together as Gonzalez fouled that one back.
I always remember the Toronto Blue Jays back in the days when there was 92, 93 teams that won the World Series. Joe Carter was the guy that hit about 230. But then you look up, he'd have 110 RBI, 30-some home runs. I mean, there's different philosophies behind it. Some, the more base runners you have on base, the better opportunity to score. But I've always been a believer if you could swing the bat and drive it, they're the kind of guys you want in the clutch.
Nicer bobbles this one, and Gonzalez will reach here at the 2-out error.
The baseball had some spin on as Meister's coming in on the ball. Trying to get underneath there, bounce up at the very end. Hit him in the heel of the glove. That's when, if you're a pitcher here in Urban Santana, you pick up your infielder here. Meister's a solid glove. He's made that mistake. You go out there and throw up another ground ball right at him to get through the inning.
First error of the year for Meister's. Puts a man on for Jose Bautista. Just to be clear, I mean, there is a lot of value to on-base percentage, but you also have to be able to draft those guys, develop those guys, and have it come to fruition at the major league level, which was not the case for the Toronto Blue Jays over the last several years. And with Cito Gaston, when they brought him back into the fold from the front office, where he was serving as an assistant, mentor, he just told him, let it fly.
Get a fastball, crush it. That's his belief.
(2-0). 3 balls and no strikes.
Or somebody like a late Kirby Puckett came to mind. He was swinging at everything, but you look at his numbers he would put up. That's all really mattered. He was going to get on base via a base hit, a double, home run, whatever it was going to be. He was up there hacking.
There are those type of guys that have been that way throughout their careers. Those are the ones that can continue to do it. It's difficult to transition from not being that guy, as Bautista draws the 4-pitch walk. You can't take a Jose Bautista and all of a sudden, while at the major league level, make him take pitches and change his routine and try to make him an on-base percentage guy. And that's what they tried to do with a lot of those guys.
That's the exact reason. I mean, if you see that fastball, you're aggressive. You can't change a guy like that. You take away their aggression. It's even like Eric Ibar. He has to be the leadoff guy. See a lot more pitches. Maybe that's why the batting average isn't where exactly it should be. Even talking to Mickey Hatcher about him, he said, "Hey, get a fastball, drive it. Don't worry about seeing a lot of pitches."
Buck swinging at the first pitch off the end of the bat, right to Howard Kendrick. There's out number 3. Nothing happening for the Blue Jays here in the second. Angels still up 1-0. Brought to you by Loveza. Beautiful night here at the Big A. Bottom of the second, Angels up 1-0. Bobby Abreu with an RBI double in the first, scoring Eric Ibar, who had reached on the infield single. Hideki Matsui, Mike Napoli, and Meiser Sturz to face Ricky Romero. Matsui got a hit last night. He's 1 for 3, including that game. .226 average, 5 home runs, and 22 runs batted in. Romero evens the count at 1 ball, 1 strike. The base hit by Matsui came off of Brett Cecil in the 8th inning. It's a good sign against a left-handed pitcher, a tough left-handed pitcher. Cecil had it working last night. As Hideki swings through that one. Cecil going 7 1/3, striking out 3, and allowing just 2 hits. Was not fancy, wasn't overpowering, just located well and kept Angel hitters off balance all night.
Well, you could flip that curveball in there for a strike at will, and then when he threw that in there, he started expanding his zone with his slider and his changeup, just spotted his fastball.
Matsui goes down swinging for round number 1. 3rd strikeout already for Romero. So 1 out, nobody on for Mike Napoli. Mike was 0 for 2 last night. Now his batting average at .255 with 6 home runs. .16 driven home. Terrific month of May for Napoli. Big hack there, and he comes up empty. And if you talk about Mike Napoli and the move of Brandon Wood to the DL with his Sturz coming off, Jeff Mathis doing well, bouncing back, felt good today. Scheduled to go back out there tomorrow. The early sessions of the afternoon to again throw down to second base, work the bunt, swing the bat a little bit. Oh, 2.
Thing is, when you get Jeff Mathis back, he was swinging the bat so well, then you have the option of at times putting Mike Napoli in that DH position. Mike Sturz carrying 3 catchers. So more options when Jeff gets back and healthy again.
Another 0-2, and Mike lines this one into center field. Romero loses his glove on the mound. 1 out base hit, puts a man on for his Sturz.
You know how valuable it is to have Mike Napoli in there swinging the bat, whether it be in the catching position or the DH position. He's so valuable. He can carry a ball club. You can see this type of swing, even behind. Count 0-2. Romero tried to make the play, but that ball was scolded up the middle.
I think he intentionally threw that.
Yeah, there is a rule you're not allowed to do that.
No. He would have been credited with a base hit.
I thought there's an extra rule. I mean, there's an extra base or so if that's thrown up there and knocks the ball down. I thought it was a triple. Might be wrong.
2 extra bases?
Could be wrong.
Norm will get on that. Our head statistician.
He's working hard.
He is. Meiser takes that one inside. It's 2 balls and no strikes. .256 average. 10 RBIs, 3 doubles on the year. Was eligible to come off the DL Friday night while the Angels were in St. Louis. Taking the extra couple of days to make sure the shoulder was right as he takes a strike. Take a look at the Hyundai keys to the game.
Jumping on the crazy train by Izzy Osborne. Getting hot again, driving in those base runs with runners in scoring position. 500 this season, 6 for 12 for Meiser.
Romero falling behind at 3 balls and no strikes.
Rick, you're a big Ozzy fan?
No, negative.
Okay, just checking.
But I appreciate it. Thanks for cluing me in.
All right, just making sure you're okay over there. Good song, though, Crazy Train.
So they say. Here's that 3-1. Into right center field, base hit. Napa's going to take the extra base. And why not? Meiser stirs off the DL, gets a base knock. Angels have runners at first and third, one out for Reggie Willits.
Once again, a good professional at bat. Quality swing for Meiser Stores. Trying to go fastball inside, but got a little bit too much and played at 91. The velocity was there. Location wasn't exactly where Buck wanted that in the inside part. Meiser made him pay. Base hit in the right.
With the speed of Sturris at first base and Willits here at the plate, I think it'd be difficult to turn a double play. Perhaps get an extra run here in the second. Reggie's batting average at 185 on the season. That's for over, and Sturris is back.
It's so nice to see when Meiser gets a swing. He just goes out there, doesn't try to do too much with his swing. Just levels off the swing, just puts a ball on the bat, drives it wherever the pitch is located. Also has the ability to go inside out and will turn on a pitch on occasion when it's in the inner half.
Pitch out, nothing's happening. Blue Jays anticipating perhaps a bunt. Reggie Willits.
So that realm of possibility Mike Scioscia would put a squeeze on even at this point of the game. With Reggie Willits and his ability to get the bunt down. Safety squeeze. Trying to manufacture runs against a very good pitcher.
Jam shot to the right side. Long run over for Aaron Hill. Nice play. Over. They can't dig it out. Napoli scores. Is Sturris to third. 2-0 Halos.
Nice backup, too, by Romero to be in that position. Reggie is putting the ball in play, utilizing that speed. Catching a break, putting pressure on the defense. Well, that was pretty close to hit Meiser running in towards second base. And he'll try to make the play, had to force his throw with the speed of Reggie Willits. Not a strong throw, and Overbay unable to pick it.
Reggie getting credit for a base hit and an RBI, his second run batted in of the year. And Hill gets charged with an error, allowing Sturris to move to third. So first and third still, one away. There's Ibar showing bunt, pushes one up the first base line. The squeeze is on. Romero tags out Ibar. It's 3-0 Angels.
Even early in the game, Mike Scioscia will put that squeeze on. Good job by Ibar. Again, when you're facing a quality pitcher like Romero, you got to try to scratch against runs any way you can. You can see coming down the line right there, Meiser read it well. Nice job, too, by Ibar. That's not an easy ball to bunt down on the ground and elevate a pitch like that.
Here's Howie Kendrick. His first squeeze we've seen since Howie's game winner against the Cleveland Indians. Howie 0 for 1, a strikeout victim in the first inning. He's got Willits on at second base. This one into right field. That's a base hit. It's getting into the corner. Bautista cuts it off. Willits scores. Kendrick in at second with an RBI double. 4-0 Angels. And if Bautista doesn't cut that ball off, Howie's still running.
That might have been some fun to be able to see that because his momentum would have taken him away from the baseball because it's around the corner and would have rolled towards right center. Another good piece of hitting by Howie going inside out on that swing. Boy, that's a great swing. Good approach. Lower half stayed quiet. Used his hands, got that ball deep in the strike zone, and hits it hard in the right field for a double.
10th double of the year for Howie, picking up his 21st RBI. Visit to the mound by Blue Jays pitching coach Bruce Walton.
Mary's been throwing the ball so well, and all these fans coming to the game today. Sometimes you put a little bit more pressure on yourself pitching home in front of all your fans. Believe me, I've had during my career, some bad games pitching in Baltimore in front of a lot of people.
Here's Abreu, who doubled home a run in the first inning. Takes the breaking ball inside. But that being said, it's not as if Romero's giving up missiles all over the place. I mean, the ball struck by Bobby in the first inning was hard hit. This one by Howie, certainly hard hit. A couple of infield rollers, squeeze play.
Napa hit that ball pretty good up the middle. And now you're right. I mean, it's a situation where sometimes, you're just unlucky.
Good fastball there, evens it down at 1-1.
The way they scored some runs, this was old Angel baseball, manufacturing the runs against a good pitcher. You have to do that.
You turn around and first and third. You turn around again, it's still first and third. That's
exactly
what a lot of teams have grown accustomed to over the years. Breaking ball is in there, 1-2. All of these runs earned thus far, so 4 earnings on the ledger for Romero. The most earned runs he's allowed in the game this year, 5. That was against Cleveland back on May the 4th. Bobby didn't like that call. Stepping out of the box, and now time is called. Something's come onto the field.
One of my fastballs, the beach ball. At the end of my career.
So Abreu has a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Breaking ball up the middle, base hit. Kendrick's being away, told he's going to score. It's 5-0 Angels. Abreu, a 2-hit game, 2 runs batted in already.
Well, what a great sign that is. We just mentioned he's hit 161 coming in the game against lefty pitching. You're facing one of the best left-handers in the American League, and Ricky Romero didn't exactly crush the ball, but stayed back and hit the ball up the middle.
John Buck's going to go out and pay a visit. Already seen a visit to the mound by the pitching coach, Langford. All of a sudden, you look out to that bullpen at left field. Guys start scrambling a little bit, stretching. 7 hits given up by Romero thus far. With 2 outs here to second.
How many times did we see Bobby on that last road trip pull off that pitch right there, a slow curveball in the outer half, and miss that pitch? This time stay back long enough to hit that ball up the middle.
Kendry was a strikeout victim in the first inning, so he's 0 for 1. Three punch outs for Romero, no walks, but 7 hits, 5 runs. That one's in the dirt. That's blocked by Buck. One run in his previous 2 starts, earned run that is.
One stat that's pretty telling about Romero as far as a little bit unbalanced so far. There are 13 wild pitches already this season. So that pitch in the dirt. Sometimes it's obviously not all the pitcher, it's the catcher's not even being in position to be able to block those pitches.
Well, if you talk to some of the folks that travel with the Blue Jays, they've got a couple of pretty good former big league catchers in their broadcast booth. Buck Martinez doing TV, Alan Ashby doing radio. Some of that blame does go behind the plate. As Kendrick gets jammed and puts one into right field, a base hit. And heading over to third base is Abreu. The throw is in time, but Encarnacion cannot handle that one hopper. And again, we've got first and third with 2 outs now. Juan Rivera will step up. The Angels have hit around here in the second.
Boy, another baseball that was not hit very hard. You can see the expression on Rick Romero's face, like, what do I got to do to get it out? Fastball up and in, good velocity. Howard's Exmo will show again. Most times when you see a flare going into the outfield like that, a jam shot, it's going to be an elevated pitch. Boy, they had a great shot. Again, Bobby at third, but again, the Angels being aggressive. This is the way they win ball games and score runs, taking that chance. Bobby in safely, especially with Romero. We mentioned with 13 wild pitches, always good to have a guy at third.
Breaking ball is in for strike 1. Romero threw 11 pitches in that first inning. He's thrown 26 so far here in the second. Juan hit a fly ball to right to end the first, so he's 0 for 1. That one on the corner, 2-2.
Good approaches with 2 outs by the Halos tonight. Howie getting a double. Bobby up the middle, and then of course Henry fighting out off in the right field himself. Good quality 2-out hits. Howie's was crushed well to right field for a double.
Good side for Howie too. He's been in a little bit of a funk of late. 0-2 to Rivera. Out of the dirt. Buck blocks this one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And just going back to that point about the wild pitches too, especially as a starting pitcher, you start to waver. You see 13 wild pitches. Some are your fault, some are the catcher's fault. You maybe become tentative in throwing the pitch you want to throw where you need to throw.
Trust me, when you have that feeling that you might throw a wild pitch, you don't throw that nasty slider that you can get a swing and miss in the third area because you're afraid of that wild pitch.
Rolled foul.
And then all of a sudden you get underneath that slider a little bit because you don't snap it off.
That went off the ankle of Rivera, so he's trying to walk it off. There's Abreu over at third base. 2-hit night for him with a couple of RBIs. Kenzer Morales at first. Got a piece of that one. Four runs on 6 hits for the Angels here against Romero in the second inning. Another 1-2. We got him with the breaking pitch. Rivera will get tagged out by John Buck. Little cat and mouse game, but the damage already done. 2 in the books here at the Big A. 5-0 Angels. Just went wrong in that 4th inning. Angel hitters racking out 6 hits. As we start the top of the 3rd inning, Orvin Santana with a little cushion here, trying to get back to action. He does so with a first pitch fastball into Edwin Encarnacion.
Interesting to see if the Jays change their philosophy down by 5 here. They're more patient, try to get base runners.
Blue Jays sending up 9-1-2. Encarnacion, Reed, and Hill. Good curveball there, 1-2. Encarnacion was 0 for 2 last night with a couple of walks. And he got him with the breaking pitch There's out number one, first strikeout of the night for Ervin Santana. Well, tonight was supposed to be no giveaway night. No, courtesy of Kaiser Permanente. You see the little guy right here. Well, they had some problems trying to get those guys into the country. So they're on the ship somewhere. They're on their way in, but the Angels gave out vouchers for all the fans in attendance that were eligible for it. Write your name on it. The Angels are going to mail those to the fans that are in the house here. And also, if I remember correctly, I just saw it on the scoreboard, 30% off merchandise for those here in attendance today.
Well, he's certainly a handsome fellow.
He is. The gnome has been throughout this ballpark.
He's been everywhere.
This is just one of the cousins of the many gnomes throughout the yard. And a highly popular figure. I mean, just look around this ballpark. This place, fans still filtering in here. It's a great crowd on a Tuesday night.
Kids are still in school, too. It's a huge crowd.
So since this is the only one we have, the next commercial break, I'm going to go to eBay and put this one up for auction. As Reed fouls that one back. Reed saw one pitch in the first inning and lined out to Bobby Abreu in right. This one rolled foul over to first.
Tell you what, it's nice to see Ervin Santana wasted no time in between pitches. He's got a great tempo going tonight. Attacking the zone. I see you want to have that big shutdown inning here. Butcher's talked to his pitching staff emphatically of late about being aggressive and throwing strikes.
Reed takes a called strike three on the outside corner. Down he goes. Back-to-back punch outs for Santana. 2 outs here in the third. And here comes Aaron Hill.
Talk about painting a fastball. So fastball. Good action with that arm. Got on top of that pitch. Worked downhill. Hits the outside corner with that pitch.
Hill takes upstairs. 0 for 1. He popped out and foul ground to Meister. You see that type of swing from an established major leaguer. That tells you how good a movement, late movement there is on that breaking pitch.
I know we were talking to Mike Socia that one day on the road about a true slider, because a hitter sees it as a kind of a bad fastball, but then that break at the end, that last break.
Rivera can't see it. Now he does. He's there, makes the catch. For the entire time that ball was going up, Rivera had both hands up. It's a 1-2-3 inning. Angels still leading. up 5-0. Having batted around in the second inning, Hideki Matsui will lead things off. He punched out leading off the second, so he's 0 for 1. 5 runs, 8 hits, 1 error, 3 left on for the Angels against Ricky Romero, who delivers upstairs for ball 1. See the numbers for Hideki, the struggles that he has had of late. And the veteran player that he is, one way to get him going is basically continue to get his at-bats, try to figure things out. Give him an off day here and there, just like he had 2 off days in St. Louis because of interleague play.
You're going to always trust a veteran who's put up good numbers throughout his career. That he's going to get his swing together at some point.
3 balls and no strikes.
One of the better ways to be able to get the confidence of a hitter is giving him a green light 3-0, and that fastball way up and in. They're overthrown a little bit in this inning after that 4 runs he gave up in the second, which he didn't really throw many bad pitches.
Outside, and that's a 4-pitch walk. First walk issued by Romero. Leadoff man is on board for Mike Napoli. As we were talking about the Gnome not being in the house, on the board between innings. And here's the traveling Gnome.
It's like, where's Waldo? Where's Gnome?
That guy gets around.
Great Wall of China. Oh, you can get anywhere. He is everywhere.
Look at that. Wow.
Fit on the move.
The Gnome is dope. There's Mike Napoli, who had a single into center field and a run scored his last time up. Romero's missed wide 5 times now. There's a strike. It was 1-1. Romero now his second full season in the big leagues. 29 starts as a rookie last year, went 13-9 with a 4.30 ERA. And all of a sudden, the body language, the intensity that we saw in that first inning looks to be kind of reeled back a little bit for Romero. Maybe a little shell shock at what happened in that second inning.
Yeah, you start overthrowing some pitches, make some mistakes. Especially when you feel like you're making a quality pitch and you're not getting outs, whether they're flares or choppers in the infield. Plays on your mind.
(3-1). Napoli has a full count now. Sandra and Ricardo Romero, Ricky's parents, in attendance here. As we pointed out earlier, a lot of tickets left for Ricky.
How cool it is for to be a parent to watch his son pitch in a major league game. Of course, having a tough season that Romero's having to start this year. Even though this game hasn't gone his way, he's been outstanding throughout the season.
Full count. And he takes down low. There's ball 4. In the first couple of innings, we saw a couple of guys chasing that off-speed pitch. Napoli laying off a very good pitch, very tough pitch. Back-to-back walks for Romero. Puts 2 on, nobody out for Meiser.
The thing is, when you're hot like Napoli is, you're not going to swing at that pitch. You track it well.
Meiser had a single with a run scored in the second. Takes a strike here. Oh, 1 on the ground at the third base line. third to second. High throw goes into right field. Napoli stumbles for a minute, heads over to third base. So they get the out of Matsui on the 4-shot. Everyone else is safe. Encarnacion trying to get at least a double play, if not a triple play. Impossible to do with his Sturridge running up the first base line.
That was definitely what he was thinking, especially when you can feel that baseball right on the bag at third base. Quick throw, high throw to Hill at the second base. Napoli originally thought about going back to second with maybe interference with Hill, and second was able to go into third.
He wasn't quite sure exactly what happened at second base. If Hill actually had the ball, that's where he stopped right there and finally picked up Dino Ebel, which is exactly what you're supposed to do as a base runner, pick up your third base coach.
Exactly, and Dino was looking right away to be able to wave him over to third base. With Batista's arm strength in right field, you had to get there in a hurry and pick up your third base coach.
Encarnacion gets charged with his 4th error. Here's Reggie Willits. There's a strike. 2 errors on the night already for the Blue Jays. Reggie with an infield single and an RBI. Also scored a run in the second. First and third, 1 out. A similar situation that the Angels had in the second against Romero. Eric Ibar, the leadoff man's already on deck again. Meiser back. Oh, 1 pitch. Reggie on the ground towards third. Encarnacion goes to second. Relay to first. And Reggie is retired on the double play ball. 3 in the books here at the Big A. Angels still up 5-0. California. Time now for the AT&T trivia question. Vernon Wells, one of 4 players with 200 or more home runs for the Blue Jays. Who are the other 3?
Joe Carter, Jesse Barfield, and George Bell.
I'll go with those 3.
I think that might be each one of their books. It might help them out.
Fred McGriff.
I don't want to mention him. I know I was multiple home runs with him.
Hang with him.
Yes. He went over to glass in dead center field against me at that point at Sky Dome.
This one lined to first. Morales has got it, 1 out. That's how we start the top of the 4th. Lynn now 0 for 2 and brings up Vernon Wells.
All right, that's 4 one-pitch outs for Irvin Santana tonight.
.42 total pitches for Irvin. 27 strikes. He got Wells to ground down in the second inning, so he's 0 for 1. Vernon takes a strike into the knees. Mentioned the number of ailments that Wells has had as he skies this one foul on the first base side. Morales runs out of room. 4 balls and 2 strikes. So to deal with left hamstring injury, left wrist fracture, problem with his left shoulder, right calf, right groin strain. This has been the path that Vernon's career has been on, but all of a sudden here in 2010, getting it going, and so far so good. Remaining healthy as he swings through that breaking pitch. Down he goes. And there's the 3rd strikeout for Irvin Santana. Hey kids, enjoy your very own Angels Pool Raft courtesy of Wild Rivers Water Park. It's free for all kids ages 2 to 18 and attendance this Saturday. Tickets for this game now available for $5 off ticket window prices in select seating areas when using the password HALO at angelsbaseball.com or the Angels Stadium ticket window.
Taking your raft down that rapid there for you, Victor. You think you give a shot at it?
Who's to say I haven't already? Tough guy. That's like a number 4 rapid right there. Oh, some Whitecaps.
Oh, look at you breaking it down.
Oh, yeah. No vest needed. Lyle Overbay 0 for 1 with a fly ball to left. Down and in. 2 balls and a strike. Overbay last time went 0 for 5 with 3 punch outs. Struggles continue for him as he taps this one back. 2-2 now.
He's swinging at a 2-1 fastball that was added at the strike zone. Barely above the dirt. Even though you're not swinging the bat real well. Get back to a bat swing. How about Vernon Wells swinging that slider by Irvin Santana off the outside corner? That tells you how sharp that pitch is tonight.
2-2. Just missed inside. Full count. Overbay fouling off that 3-2 pitch. Guy that came up in the Diamondbacks organization, spent time with the Milwaukee Brewers, part of that huge, and at that time it was huge, Richie Sexson deal. Last night we were talking about Mo Vaughn, how quickly that career dissipated. Speaking of Richie Sexson, as that one's fouled back.
Well, he was a guy that did swing and miss a number of times, but he had tremendous power. Now with that short, compact uppercut swing, he got that fastball, put some damage on the baseball.
Three-two. Got him swinging on the breaking pitch. Down goes Overbay. A 1-2-3 inning for Irvin. He and the Angels still lead it. 100 or more home runs for Toronto. Who are the other three? Carlos Delgado. Delgado. Joe Carter, George Bell. Fred McGriff not on there.
Well, I mean, Delgado, he took me tremendously far in the Sky Dome also, so I'm part of all those guys. Just doing my part to help out.
You are that kind of guy,
yep.
Ruby.
Yep.
All for one, one for all.
Fred McGriff, a Hall of Famer? In your opinion?
He is a borderline Hall of Famer, in my opinion.
Does he have 497? Did he have 497, 498 home runs career-wise? Just short of, I know, 500.
If he got in, I wouldn't sit there and go, wow, how did he get into the Hall of Fame?
Mr. Consistent, both in the National League and the American League.
Problem is that you're going to have nowadays is the argument of, well, if Jim Rice got in, if Andre Dawson got in, then Fred McGriff probably deserves to be in there. See, that's the dream that the Gnome was having, that one day he would have his own yard with human statues in it. That right there, the Gnome is living the dream.
See, dreams come true.
Absolutely. Ibar goes down swinging, fifth strikeout of the night.
What are you thinking about that at home? I just want to dress up like a gnome tonight.
Absolutely. This gnome's for you, dudes. Seriously. Kendrick swings and misses on that first pitch. He's 1 for 2 with an RBI double and a run scored. He bunts one down a third base line. Nice play by Encarnacion, but it's an infield hit. Well, if Howie doesn't bunt that ball, he's decapitated at home plate. That ball was up and in.
How hard is that to be able to get that bunt down when you think about it? Even bunted, period, let alone get a hit with it.
Keep it fair.
Going fastball. Whoa!
I'm
That's
telling
unbelievable.
you, watch your lips.
Well, Encarnacion almost made one of the best plays of the year. That was close.
Second hit for Howie Kendrick.
That's almost impossible to bunt that ball. And you still get a base hit out of it.
It's clean living. Bobby almost takes that fastball. It's all about keeping your eye on the ball.
I mean, look where that's at right there on him. I mean, how do you get that ball and keep it down on the ground? Most times you're going to pop that up. Of course, it takes a breath away while you're at first base thinking, I'm glad I bunted that ball.
Abreu come back to Romero, fires onto Gonzalez, relay to first. Dug out by Overbay. Inning-ending double play. We are through 4 here at the Big A. Halos still up 5-0. our game recap. It's been all Angels in this one, Gooby.
Boy, Mike Napoli continued to swing the bat well, putting the ball in play, manufacturing runs, little ball, Angel baseball, suicide squeeze, and then Howie centers that up for a double down the right field line, scores another halo. 5-0.
Here in the top of the fifth inning, Alex Gonzalez will lead things off, followed by Jose Bautista and John Buck. Irvin has been stellar thus far. 4 punch outs, all coming in the last 2 frames. He's also walked 1 guy. Gonzalez reached on the error by Meiser Sturridge in the second inning. And this one into shallow center field. Ibar going out. Willits coming on. Willits makes the sliding catch. Terrific play by Reggie.
I've seen Reggie make some outstanding plays in center field this season. Well, he had to go a long way to make that play. Man, when you got a good tempo on the mound, you're throwing strikes, your defense will make those plays for you. He had to go so far, coming in, sliding, making a great play. Keeping an eye on the baseball, never looking away from his glove, looked into his glove, slides, gets the out.
There's Jose Bautista, the right fielder, swinging at the first pitch, drills one out to deep left field. This one is gone into the bullpen. Very first pitch he sees, first hit of the night for the Blue Jays, and that is home run number 15 for Bautista. It's 5-1 Angels.
We talked about Bautista loving to swing at the first pitch. First at bat didn't. He's patient. A lot of times good hitters try to lull you into think he's going to take that first pitch. But he's always been an aggressive fastball hitter. Got a fastball down and in. There was no doubt. It's a matter of if that was going to get over enough. It was hit right on the line.
First pitch swinging is John Buck. Morales got a beat on this one. 2 outs. Another 1 pitch out. Time now for the Farmers Insurance True Stories of the game. Babe Ruth had 3 home runs for the Boston Braves on this day back in 1935. They were his last home runs. Played that last game 5 days later.
Well, when you think about the numbers he put up in an era where there wasn't a lot of home runs being hit, plus the fact is he was pretty darn good on the mound also.
No doubt. Visit farmers.com today to hear more true stories from Farmers customers and to find a SoCal agent near you. You can almost say without question, the greatest all-around player ever in baseball.
And it's amazing if people don't ever say that, though. You know, you make an argument certainly with Willie Mays, Barry Bonds, Ted Williams. But Babe,
none of those guys won almost 100 games as a pitcher, had an ERA of around 1.9 throughout his career, and then he got bored with pitching, decided to go to hitting. That's how good he was. He could have been a Hall of Fame pitcher as Encarnacion goes down swinging. 5th strikeout for Santana. Angels still up 5-1. Santana, terrific stuff tonight. Made one mistake. That was to Jose Bautista, but that's it.
What, that slider is absolutely electric tonight.
I know you and I don't like to talk about it a whole lot when it's happening, but prior to that home run, we were both in line, in sync as far as thinking he has that kind of stuff, no hit type of stuff tonight.
A lot of really bad swings against him. And when you see that with that type of velocity on the fastball, the way he's been spotting it with movement and able to throw that slider for strikes, Batista took advantage of that fastball down and in. The one mistake, not that it was up in the zone, but it was a spot where Batista loves to drive the fastball.
Kendrick takes a strike, and it's 1-2 now. Morales, Rivera, Matsui here in the fifth. Kendrick 1 for 2. He doesn't chase that off speed pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Morales a strikeout victim in the first. 1 of 5 punch outs for Romero. Gave up 4 runs in the sixth on 6 hits in the second inning. After falling behind 1-0 in the first. 9 hits for the Angels in this one. It says a lot against a guy like Romero, who has limited opponents to a .208 batting average this year. 2-2 again. Down him with the off speed. And there's out number 1. Angel fans, groups of 25 or more can enjoy an exciting night of Angels baseball for as low as $6 per seat. Be part of the fan experience that was voted #1 in all of sports by ESPN, the magazine. Book your group outing today by calling 888-796-HALO or by visiting angelsbaseball.com/groups. Juan is 0 for 2 with a fly ball to right and a strikeout. The 9 hits for the Angels tonight, matching a season high given up by Romero. He gave up 9 against Cleveland in that May 4th game. 2 balls and no strikes. Juan now at that 0 for 2 tonight in a stretch in which he is hitless in his last 13 ABs. Outside, 3 balls and no strikes.
Definitely green light here for Juan if he gets that fastball.
Got the fastball, didn't pull the trigger. It's 3-1.
Very rare do you see Juan take a 3-0 pitch when given the green light. Bobby Abreu is one of those guys who will almost always take it. Mike Napoli, Juan Rivera, they're hacking at that fastball.
(3-1). Takes another fastball, full count. Juan doesn't like the call. Tim Welke has been fairly consistent for both sides this evening.
I like throwing to Tim Welke, who's behind the plate calling balls and strikes. He's a guy that consistently will give you that pitch on the outer half as long as you're consistent in that spot.
Fouled back. Reset, do it again at 3-2. Tomorrow afternoon, remember, it's a 4 o'clock start here at the Big A. Brendan Morrow going up against Yoel Pinheiro. And what the Angels hope will be the rubber game of the series. Another 3-2. That foul. Rivera takes the breaking ball for a strike. 2 outs.
Pretty tough spot. Be able to hit if you're a batter here after looking away, thinking change up that breaking pitcher on the inner half at 82. That shows how he's able to get on top of that slider to be able to hit that inside part of the plate.
His first strikeout looking that Romero has gotten out of his 7. There's Ricky's parents looking on. Matsui swings through the fastball. It's 0-1. Hideki with a strikeout and a walk. So 0 for 1. Went back through his numbers last year with the Yankees. Got off to a good start in the month of April at 292, but then scuffled in May, hitting 241. It got worse in June, hit 204 in the month of June before hitting 293 in July, 281 in August, 325 in September. And then, of course, had a good offseason, or postseason, I should say, winning the MVP and World Series.
Amazing. You know, what do you have, 3 starts in that World Series? He won the MVP. There were 6 RBI in the 1 game.
Rolled foul, 2-2. I mean, guys like this don't go from one season to the next and just forget how to hit.
Just get comfortable again. When Mike Scioscia puts him down that 6th or 7th slide, let you relax a little bit. Start seeing the pitch, start driving it the other way. That's the thing for him. And when he starts going and hitting the ball to left center field, that's when he's going to get rolling again.
2-2. Ricky Romero's just struck out the side. 5 of the books here at the Big A. Halos still up 5-1.
Got the job done, gets an RBI. Then Howie trying to save his life. Fastball up and in, keeps that ball down, gets an infield hit. Halo's playing little ball. That's Coors Light. Freeze Can brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
Nice job by the Angels middle infield with a 5-1 lead here in the top of the 6th inning. Top of the order due up now for the Blue Jays. Jeremy Reed, Aaron Hill, Adam Lind face Urban Santana. The young right-hander who's thrown now 61 pitches, 43 strikes, 18 balls. Kind of ratio that would make Nolan Ryan drool.
Attacking the zone, great fastball, backing up with an even better slider tonight.
Reed bouncing that one foul. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And again, the velocity may not be consistently 95 or 96 tonight, but it's been 91, 92 with great movement, down at the knees, consistent spotting.
Reed floating this one out to left. Rivera comes in, makes the catch. The Blue Jays left fielder is now 0 for 3. Hey, did you ever want your kids to run the show at an Angels game? Well, on Saturday, June 26th, kids between the ages of 5 and 18 can win prizes such as honorary bat kid, guest PA announcer, guest radio broadcaster, and more. Entry forms are available at angelsbaseball.com. Entries must be received by June 11th. Aaron Hill driving one out to deep left field. Rivera at the wall. Gone. Solo home run for Aaron Hill. Second of the night for the Blue Jays. Their 78th of the season. It's 5-2 Angels.
That's the thing about the Jays. They get right back in the game with the way they crush the ball out of the ballpark. They don't exactly manufacture runs, but they have the ability to strike quickly. Again, you get back to the track. You just want to get up by the wall first before you make that leap. You got to get back against with the warning track, get to the wall before the jump is made. One would have had a shot at it if he would have been able to get back there quick enough.
Aaron Hill picking up his 6th home run. Santana now has allowed 11 home runs on the year, but you know what? When you've got a 5-0 lead, if you're going to give them up, make sure that they are the solo variety as Lynn skies one out toward right center. Oh, what a towering shot. Reggie Willits, almost with his back to the wall, makes the catch. That thing had some hang time.
That was just missed. And another home run for the Jays. It's the club. You know, it feels like it's a comfortable lead for the Angels. It's not so. Even Irvin's been throwing the ball so well. He's allowed us 2 hits with 2 home runs, and that was close to another one.
Brings up Vernon Wells.
Not a bad time to throw a slider first pitch.
Fastball popped him up. Morales in foul territory. 3 outs. Blue Jays get a run on the Aaron Hill home run. Middle of the 6th inning. It is 5-2 Angels. .com. Bottom of the 6th inning here. Halos up by the score of 5-2. Bottom third to up. Napoli, Asturis, and Willits. Mike Napoli in this one with a single and a walk. He's also scored a run. Ricky Romero really, after that second inning, has settled down nicely. 8 strikeouts for him, 4 of which have come in the last 2 frames as Napoli swings and misses on the off-speed pitch, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes.
He's done a real nice job of mixing that changeup, throwing the slider in, spotting the fastball up in his own to change eye level. He's been on a roll of late. Wants to go back-to-back changeups.
Bouncing now, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
This is a situation if you're the Angel on the offensive side is starting to get rolling again. It's not a comfortable lead anymore now, only a 3-run lead for the Halos, especially the way Romero's starting to throw the baseball.
Napoli on the 2-2 pitch, drives one deep to left field. Reed is back, gone! Big fly from Mike Napoli. And the Angels get one of those back. It is 6-2 Halos.
Well, I guess it is the best way to answer right back after a solo shot. Do it with solo action yourself. Home run. Continues to crush the baseball. Base hit, walk, and now a home run for Mike Napoli as he's carried the bottom part of this lineup, providing some key runs. That baseball get out there quickly once again.
7th home run of the year for Napoli, RBI number 17.
Exmosa tried to turn it over, but look how quick that bat was, providing all the power himself on that pitch.
It's only the 3rd home run Ricky Romero has allowed this year, now in his 10th start. As Asturis takes inside, and it's 2 balls and no strikes.
3 home runs in just about 69 innings pitched. His 4th home run, Mike Napoli, in his last 5 games. We saw back-to-back-to-back games in St. Louis.
3-0 now. And Romero at 91 pitches. Starting to get up there with the pitch count. Start to see some scrambling going in that Blue Jays bullpen. And there's a 4-pitch walk following a home run. This fresh off the 1-2-3 inning Romero had in the 5th inning with 3 strikeouts. Here comes Reggie Willits. By the way, it's time now for the One West Bank One Person, One Play, brought to you by One West Bank, one person at a time.
Well, he had to cover a lot of ground, Reggie Willits, coming all the way in. Kept his eye on the baseball all the way into the glove. That's the key. Did not look away, did not try to find where the middle infielders were coming back on that baseball.
Pushing one over to Romero. Thought about going to second base, but he fires on the first. So Reggie gets a sacrifice and puts Asturis in a scoring position.
Romero is so quick off the mound. He did think about throwing to second base. That would have been a very difficult play to get that force out. But again, the Angels playing little ball tonight. We just saw the home run by Napoli. They've manufactured some runs, playing hit and run. Of course, suicide squeeze.
Josh Renicky is up and loosening. First man up. Ibar into the alley in right center field. That's going to go for extra bases. In to score is Asturis. Ibar in at second with a double. 7-2 Angels.
Very encouraging signs tonight as far as the offensive side. After last night having not much opportunities throughout that game, 11 base hits, already 7 runs against a very good pitcher in Ricky Romero. The Hats are liking those approaches going the other way. We've seen a number of swings, trust fans going inside out, breaking pitch, stay back. Guys into the right center field. Quiet hands so far for Angel hitters.
Second RBI of the night for Eric Ibar. He had one on that sacrifice, or that suicide squeeze, I should say, in the second inning. So now with 7 runs batted in on the year. Tito Gastard's coming out. It looks like it's going to be. I was just going to say that it's surprising with the stuff that Romero has possessed throughout the year, and as good as he has been, having given up 7 runs, I would be surprised that he'd stay in this game, and all of a sudden here comes Cito Gaston.
You know, why you do that, I mean, if you take him out of the situation, it's probably the right thing to do, because if you end up with poor mechanics and try to force pitches through, that's when you end up making some mistakes.
Cito took some time to talk things over and make sure Josh Renicky is ready to go. The son of Gary Renicky and the nephew of Ron Renicky, the Angels bench coach, is coming on. He's in his rookie year. But the Angels up by the score of 7-2. For the Angels here in the 6th inning, they lead at 7-2 as Josh Renicky takes over on the mound for Ricky Romero. Renicky pitching now in his 9th game, an ERA of 5.73. The nephew of Angels bench coach Ron Renicky. His dad Gary is in attendance as well. Originally in the Reds organization, a former 10th round pick in 2006, and then came over to the Blue Jays along with Edwin Encarnacion and Zach Stewart as part of that Scott Rowland deal last year. And he'll come on with 1 out. A man in scoring position, Howie Kendrick at the plate. Mentioned Renicky in his first full season now in the big leagues, trying to maintain throughout the year. He spent some time in the big leagues. Got a cup of coffee in 08 with the Reds, pitching in 5 games. Got in 11 games with the Reds last year, and 13 as a member of the Blue Jays. Swing and a miss by Kendrick, evens the count at 1-1.
We can see that good sink on the fastball by Renicky. 90 to 94 with that pitch, a curveball and a slider. This curveball more of a 12-6 variety. That means it's straight up and down. Starts around the letter, ends up at the knees.
Out of Grass Valley, California, UCLA. Chopper foul, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ibar at second base with that RBI double. Angels tonight 4 for 10 with men in scoring position. Ibar belongs to Romero, having allowed 7 runs tonight. All 7 of those runs earned. Check to swing. He did, says Jim Reynolds. It's 2-2. Final of 3rd, 11 hits, 7 earned runs.
Well, he had good stuff, and then you look up 7 earned runs out of that. Those are some good approaches at the plate against him.
Season high in hits and earned runs. 2-2. On the ground is short. Gonzalez has got it. 2 outs. So Bobby Abreu will step up now with a man in scoring position. Gorgeous night. Great crowd on hand here. Watching the Halos score 1 in the first, 4 in the second, 2 thus far here in the 6th.
Nice response by the offense after the home run by Aaron Hill to make it a 5-2 game.
Bray takes down low for ball 1. Bobby, nice game tonight, 2 for 3 with a double, a single, a couple of runs batted in. Now with 23 RBIs. The double in that first inning is 15th of the year, now 2 shy of 500 for his career. The run support tonight for Irvin Santana, extremely good. Santana's been locked in. 2 hits allowed, both of them for home runs, but both solo shots. Other than that, he has been fantastic. Trying to pick up his 4th win of the season. Three balls and no strikes. You've got the switch hitting first baseman Kendry Morales on deck. Three-0. There's a strike. 3-1.
Bobby with a couple good approaches in this game also. It'll be a lot of fun for Ron Rennick to see his nephew. Out there on the hills. Good fastball. He's got a very good slider also.
Three-1. Outside ball 4. So Rennick be very careful with Abreu. Now has to face an even more dangerous hitter than Kendry Morales as far as the ability to hit the ball out of the ballpark. Kendry 1 for 3, had a single in the second. He's also struck out twice. 2 of the 8 punch outs for Romero. See Ibar still at second base. Abreu at first. It's 1 ball, no strikes. The Angels saw a little bit of this last night with their bullpen, guys coming in and not being aggressive within the strike zone as Morales takes a strike on the corner. And it got them into some trouble in that 7th inning. The Angels went into the top of the 7th, down 2-0, came out of it down 6-0. That was pretty much it.
Yeah, when you come out of the bullpen, you have to be throwing strikes from pitch 1. More than likely, you're coming in there in a situation where a couple more base runners and a base hit after that, your team is in jeopardy of losing.
2 balls and a strike. And that game last night turned into one of those games that went from a tip of the cap to Brett Cecil to you wanted to continue to shower after that game. It just became ugly in that 7th inning. This one towards short. Gonzalez has got it. Flips on to first. And the sixth inning comes to an end, but not before the Angels get 2 more runs. One of which came off the bat of Mike Napoli. Halos just up 7-2. Top of the 7th, Angels up 7-2. Victor Rojas along with Mark Gubicza. Glad you could join us on this gorgeous Tuesday night. Angels have done a heck of a job against a very tough left-handed pitcher in Ricky Romero, knocking him out of the game. That's up to Irvin Santana to keep things in check, facing Lyle Overbay. The first pitch is in there for a strike.
What a job he's done with that fastball, spotting it 90, 91, 92.
Overbay late on that pitch. It's quickly no balls and 2 strikes on the Blue Jay first baseman, who tonight is 0 for 2 with a fly ball to left and a strikeout victim in the 4th. Fastball just missed below the knees.
Wow, that didn't miss by a lot. That was a perfect spot. 91 going inside. Paint. Inside corner.
That's one of those pitches, as good as Irvin has been tonight, that you would think Tim Welke would just bring it up, regardless of the fact that it was a strike, that it was close enough to be a strike. Overbay takes outside. It's a full count.
Well, when you execute a pitch that well, it almost seems like you're freezing umpire, because a lot of times you see a guy throw a pitch out of the zone 0-2, but that was a perfect spot.
3-2 on the ground to first. Morales has got the skimmer. 1 out. Time now for the Radio Shack. What do you know? Mark Gubicza, what do you know? What do you got?
Well, hopefully this turns around here. Yeah, but the Angels have been over 500 or better for 21 of the last 22 months. The only time losing record in April of 09. 9-14 this month with 5 games to go. So you got to win them all.
So says the math.
Mathematician that I am. 5 plus 9, 14 gets you 500 or better.
You're a 5-tool guy. Alex Gonzalez takes a strike. He's 0 for 2. He reached on an error by Sturris in the 2nd inning. Two runs, 2 hits, 2 errors, 2 left on for Toronto. There's the 0-2. And that's what Irvin's been able to do pretty much throughout this ballgame. Expand the strike zone against a very aggressive Blue Jays team.
And you know that slider's good when you get a guy thinking about swinging when that ball was in the left-hander's batter's box.
This one fouled back. Another 1-2. Breaking ball did not go. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, if you throw that exact same pitch, you're going to get him this time around. To stay on top a little bit longer, put a break to it.
Got him. Napoli drops it, applies the tag, and there's out number 2.
Well, you knew you were going to get a swing and miss. That pitch before just missed. This time, it backs up on it, but a nasty slider nonetheless for Irvin Santana. See how he gets on top of Exmo will show you can almost read the seams of a breaking pitch, that little dot, when the seams start to tumble that way on a good slider.
Bautista takes high. He's walked and homered in this one. Evens the count. Important for the Angels to make sure they get this W to snap a 2-game losing streak. And more importantly, to stay 5 games back of the Rangers in the American League West. Texas beating Kansas City at Kauffman Stadium 8-7. Bautista takes shot. It's 2-2 now. A win tonight will put the Angels at 22-26, 4 games under 500, but staying 5 games back in that division. Missed inside. It's a full count now.
I don't know. Just off the inside corner, but still, Bautista thought he was out.
Off the end of the bat, that ball had some wicked spin. Strong throw by Ibar. Another 1-2-3 inning by the young Irvin Santana. 7th inning stretch time at the Big A. Halo's still up. Two as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. And the Angels have a great ticket special available for tomorrow's home game against the Blue Jays. Fans can save 50% off ticket prices in select seating areas when using the password Angels at angelsbaseball.com or the Angels Stadium ticket window. Well, that's a 4 o'clock start, 4:05 start here at the Big A.
Bounce back game from Pinheiro tomorrow. Look for him to work that sinker down in the zone, get lots of ground ball outs.
In the midst of a 6-game homestand, 3 against the Blue Jays, off day on Thursday, then 3 against the Seattle Mariners. Josh Renicky delivers strike 1 to Juan Rivera. It'll be Rivera, Matsui, Napoli here in the 7th. We're talking about the score of the American League West. As far as the Rangers picking up the win, the Oakland A's lost tonight. They got beat by Baltimore 5-1, so the A's moved to 3 games back. They dropped back a game. It's easy to get caught up in looking at the standings, but at the end of the day, it just comes down to winning series and taking care of your own business and take your chances head to head.
It does, no question. It's always been the mantra of Mike Scioscia, winning series. You can hold on to this lead tonight and have a chance to do that tomorrow night.
Hard hit over to third, off the glove of Encarnacion. Strong throw to first and almost gets Rivera, but it pulls Overbay off the bag. That would have been a remarkable play by the Blue Jay third baseman.
Well, it's still a pretty strong throw. He's running away from the base. He's going towards shortstop, and that ball hit him in the wrist. He sculled it. That did have a chance to be an unbelievable play.
Encarnacion getting charged with an error. And for Encarnacion, his 2nd error of the night. Here's Hideki, 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts and a walk. We had our first suspended game of the year tonight. Yankees and Twins at Target Field in Minneapolis. No score in the 5th inning. They'll resume that. It's one of the best things they ever did as far as changing the rules are concerned. Just picking up the suspended game as opposed to starting over from scratch.
I agree. It's a situation where, at least at that point, it's an official game per se, because it's into that 5th inning.
Matsui into the alley in right center field, gets down for a hit. Wells cuts it off. Matsui stops at first. Rivera ends up at third. So Hideki picks up a knock.
That was well hit too this time around for Matsui. We saw that good at bat last night, his last at bat here. With the fastball down. Stayed back well, hands through the zone, centered up the baseball. Good balance.
So Mike Napoli steps up now. Five of his last 10 hits have been home runs for Mike Napoli. 2 for 2 with a single, a home run, and a walk tonight. No balls and a strike.
You can look at when you see Mike Napoli's approach to the plate. His hands a little bit different. Early in the season, they were a lot higher up as he approached with the baseball and seeing it out of the pitcher's hand. He's been working at it for a long time with Napoli. He knows when he's in one of his streaks, he can get him to be quiet at the plate, bring the hands down just enough to be able to center the baseball up more consistently.
Go back to that 6th inning. A leadoff home run off Ricky Romero, his 7th of the year.
We have a pretty good idea where his hands are as the approach. Nice and quiet, get good balance, keep the hands just low enough, and then be able to bring it down and drive the ball when it's coming through the pitcher's hand.
He went around, says Jim Reynolds. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rivera at third base. Matsui over at first. Got him. There's out number one.
That was a pretty nasty slider off the outside corner.
We'll go back to our Hyundai keys to the game with Meister Sturris coming to the plate.
Jump on the Izzy crazy train. He's doing a great job so far. He had a base hit, a walk, was on an error, scored 2 runs tonight, doing the little things, making some plays in the field. It's that comfort for Mike Scioscia, knowing that gloves in the field, making the plays, and also that approach to plate. It's a consistency with runners in scoring position.
Meister's 1 for 2 tonight, including a walk. You know, since I'm not all that familiar with Crazy Train, can you perhaps hum or even sing a couple lines for me?
Oh, yeah, that would go real well. I would do an injustice to Ozzy Osbourne if I sing that song.
Oh, 1 pitch. It's 0-2. Meister thought perhaps that pitch was a little bit high. That gets away from John Buck. Here comes Juan Rivera. 8-2 Angels. Well, we go back to what we were talking about with Ricky Romero, the 13 quote-unquote wild pitches this year. That was a pitch went off the glove of John Buck. He was down and in on his Sturris, but with a man at third base, you got to do everything in your power to knock that ball down.
I mean, being a wild pitch, but you're right. A catcher in that position should be able to do whatever it takes to keep that in front of him. This one was showed that was not that far away. Just reached that instead of shifted his body over to keep it in front.
Matsui in scoring position. The 1-2 is up, right upstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
May have overthrew that pitch just a bit. It's called the old humping up, trying to throw as hard as you can on that fastball.
A little bit of a short armor. 2-2. Full count now. Payoff pitch. We got him with a fastball. Back-to-back strikeouts for Renicky. There are 2 away. Go back to our FoxSportsWest.com poll question. Will the Blue Jays make the postseason this year? Resounding no. Emphatic. Take your bats, leave Southern California. You've got no chance.
They've been playing well on the road, but no chance at all. CeeDo Gaston. A nice job this second time around. A couple world championships before, 92, 93. Fans are saying no chance this time.
David Percy's up and loosening now for the Blue Jays. Left-hander. As Reggie Willett settles in. Matsui still at second. 1 run in here in the 7th. 8-2 Halos. Ricky Romero got the start for the Blue Jays. Lasted 5 1/3. Gave up 7 runs all earned on 11 hits. 1 home run. Struck out 8 and walked 3. Reggie's ahead of the count at 2-0. Had the RBI single in the 2nd inning. Double play ball in the 3rd. A sac bunt. So a 1 for 2 night. The 2-0. 3 balls and no strikes.
I like to have that arm action. Looking at Josh Renegade, a little bit similar to a Ken Hill, former Ranger, former Expo, where he brings it straight up out of his hand and has that downward action. Short armor, but good movement. It's not consistent so far as throwing the strikes in the zone.
Reggie with a 3-ball, 1 strike count. Top of the order, Nybar on deck. 12 hits tonight for the Halos. Reggie looking for that 13th knock. Pulls that one foul. Full count now. Reggie getting that start at center field for Torrey Hunter, who's back in Texas attending to son's graduation. Payoff pitch, and he lost him. Second walk issued by Renicky to go with the 2 strikeouts, and here comes Ivar. Ivar tonight, a couple of hits, a couple of runs batted in, a single and a double. He's also scored a run. Overall, 2 for 4. Now with 7 RBIs. Skying this one. Foul into the seats. Oh, 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Renicky picked up his first major league win back on the 14th of May. Throwing an inning in the 3rd in relief. Blue Jays beating the Rangers. One and 2 now. Renicky getting called up towards the end of April after putting up terrific numbers at AAA Las Vegas. Pitching in 6 games there. Did not allow a run in 8 2/3.
See that good life in that fastball. Again, being consistent around his zone. Coming out of the bullpen, you have to throw strikes.
Oh, yeah, he was doing that at AAA too. 8 strikeouts, walking 1. A little bit different mentality here in the big leagues. 1-2. Ibar pulling this one foul on the right field line. So the count remains with the ball and 2 strikes.
Nice haircut. It's a little icy too, which is very good at this time of the night.
Absolutely. Nothing like a little sugar rush about 9:15, 9:30 at night. That's a legit mohawk too.
Yes, it is.
He's getting ready for the A-team premiere. It's coming out. Ibar takes low, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That is so good for you.
Oh, yeah. Spun sugar on a stick.
Nothing better than have your child eat that and hold his hand right after that.
She wants some.
Yes.
And it's right there.
It's right there.
What a mean dad. Teasing her like that. Here's the 2-2. Keeping the at-bat alive. Well, the icy at about 9:15 at night. The baby tossing doesn't happen until about 10 o'clock tonight, as we saw last night.
Oh, that is so good for you.
I love the hat, too. by the way, on Dad.
Old school.
It's like circa 1987. Another 2-2. Foul tipped and hung onto by Buck. The Angels do get a run here in the 7th, and after 7 complete, 8-2 Angels. Alexis pursuing perfection.
Irvin Santana showing that great rhythm and tempo throughout the game, and a nasty slide piece. Punch out, fastball outside corner, another slider. Vernon Wells, Overbay, backup slide, another slide on the outside corner against Encarnacion, but then the nasty one to Gonzalez. 6 punch outs for Irvin Santana. It is our Lexus pursuing perfection. 7 innings pitched, just 2 hits allowed, with 1 walk.
Irvin just hanging out behind the mound as they tend to it. They wanted to fill some of the holes. Sometimes when you've got a right-hander or left-hander, you get different landing spots. When you get a right-hander that comes in, like Josh Renicky, a big, tall guy, sometimes it messes up that landing spot as Irvin comes back out there. And figured they'd manicure that mound area for him.
And sometimes there's a pitcher that dig the hole in front of the pitching rubber to be able to get maximum push-off from the pitching rubber. I wonder why guys would do that. Dig a hole like that to be able to push off.
Irvin Santana has been stellar tonight. 6 strikeouts for him as we take a look at the last 17 games for the starters at 3.33 ERA, the second best in the American League. The bullpen's been a little bit of a different story. Trying to get that figured out. That is the biggest issue right now.
Right there is the biggest issue for me, is the walks. They're too good at arms down there in the bullpen not to be throwing strikes in the zone. Attacking that strike, so being aggressive.
That bullpen ERA over 6 in the month of May as John Buck takes a breaking ball for a strike. Blue Jays send up 8-9-1. Buck, Encarnacion, and Reed.
Well, how impressive has Irvin Santana been against Toronto so far this year? You think about it, they lead the American League in runs scored and home runs. Doubles. He's allowed 6 hits in 16 innings pitched. 3 solo home runs. He's been very good attacking the zone, using that slider, getting ahead of the count, staying within his rhythm out there on the mound.
Buck lays off the slider. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Buck 0 for 2 with a line out and a pop-up. And as Irvin has thrown 92 pitches, he's been as smooth as silk, just chilling out there on the mound. Fastball's up and in, full count. Doesn't even look like he's broken his sweat.
Key for Irvin always has been not wasting time in between pitches.
Got him on the breaking pitch. Down goes Buck. There's out number 1.
Talking about a perfect slider here. 3-2, starts at the knees and ends up in the dirt at 82 miles an hour. I hear that terminology about certain breaking pitches being electric. Well, that's definitely an electric slider.
Good fastball there on Encarnacion. He's gotten the Blue Jay third baseman twice swinging, both on breaking pitches. Irvin now with the 7 punch-outs tonight, 59 strikeouts on the year. He's put himself in the top 10 in the American League strikeout race. 1-2 now.
That's a frustrated look by Encarnacion, trying to hold off from swinging at that pitch, but made that commitment to that sharp slider.
One-two. Got to go fastball up.
I wonder if that was his show for effect, a fastball, and try to finish him off with another slider.
Got him with the slider. Down goes Encarnacion. Back-to-back punch-outs here in the 8th. Make that 8 punch-outs tonight.
Boy, after elevating the fastball, comes with that sharp slider. No chance. Mo will show, getting on top of that pitch. It's not a curveball. Slider just has a little bit of about a 5 or 6 inch break to it at the end. Right now at 99 pitches, still throwing the ball exceptionally well. You're right, Victor. He doesn't even look like he's even sweating out there because he hasn't wasted time in between pitches. He's got a number of 1-pitch outs.
Facing the left-hand hitting Jeremy Reed, and he drills one out to deep right center field. This one is gone. Solo home run for Jeremy Reed makes it 8-3 Angels. First home run of the year for Reed.
Amazing, 3 hits allowed for Irvin tonight. All 3 have been home runs. Again, solo home runs in certain games do not hurt you at all. It's when you walk guys and give them big inning situations that you get in trouble by the long ball. But here, a fastball. Reed this time centered it up exceptionally well. Way out to right center field.
Reed, a native of Bonita, California, went to Long Beach State. Wasn't in the starting lineup tonight. Fred Lewis actually was in the starting lineup in left field, but at the last minute, Cito Gaston making the change with Jeremy Reed. First home run, first RBI. The 0-1 to Hill. Fastball missing in. 1 ball, 1 strike. On the ground is short. Ibar's got the 2-hopper. There's out number 3. Blue Jays do get a run, but heading to the bottom of the 8th. All Angels right now. Of hybrid and fuel-efficient vehicles at your Toyota dealer today. Angels up by the score of 8-3 as we start the bottom of the 8th inning. Want to remind you can help send your favorite Angels to this year's All-Star game by voting up to 25 times, not only at angelsbaseball.com, but also at MLB.com. Cast your ballot now. Vote early, vote often, vote Angels. Vote today at angelsbaseball.com. Left-hander David Percy takes over on the mound for Josh Renicky. Getting some action here in the bottom of the 8th inning. He'll face Kendrick, Abreu, and Morales. But the Angels up by the score of 8-3. Halo's getting a run in the first, 4 in the second, 2 in the 6th, and 1 in the 7th. Mike McCoy, new third baseman, taking over for Edwin Encarnacion, also a local product at Grossmont High School. Howie Kendrick leads things off here. He's had a nice game, 2 for 4. An RBI double and a run scored in the second. He's also singled. And he drills one out to left field, but right toward the left fielder, Jeremy Reed. And there's out number 1.
Another good swing, though, by Howie. The ball hard right field for a double. That ball was hit on the line to the left field.
Bobby 2 for 3. Couple of RBIs. Drew a walk in the 6th inning. Percy, a guy who has been a starter throughout his career. All 21 of his career appearances have been as a starter, now working out of the bullpen. They say that the move to the bullpen has made him a little bit better pitcher as far as being able to throw strikes more consistently.
You know, a lot of times when a starter isn't around the zone enough as much as they want, when you pitch out of the bullpen, you become more aggressive. You don't have too much time to think. You know, a period of time to get yourself mentally ready as far as a starter. So that bell rings, all of a sudden you get up there to warm up. You just aggressively throw your pitches. Better fastball. You don't have to wait, conserve energy. Just attack the strike zone.
Guy who came in with a 4.9 record of 5.81 ERA in the big leagues in those 21 starts. Abreu hustling down the line, almost legs it out. And McCoy retires Bobby for out number 2. Hey, for all the information in Southern California sports, just go to foxsportswest.com. You get stories from Joel Myers. You can even ask questions of the one and only Jose Mota, and he'll answer it for you. Just do that at foxsportswest.com.
Joel Myers might have to have some answers tonight, some questions. That series.
You're not worried, are you?
No. At least it's a series now. Suns tying it up.
Some would say that the Suns are lucky that they've tied things up.
I think you provide your own luck. What do you think, Victor?
I don't know. I think Amari should just kept his mouth shut at the end of the day. This one out of the shallow right. Bautista got a good jump, and the Angels go down in order here in the 8th. Urban Santana's coming back out, trying to get the CG. It would be his second against the Blue Jays. Angels up 8-3. summary.
Lots of good news for the Halos tonight. Irvin Santana from the get-go just had nasty stuff. A slide piece, some cheese at 92 on the outside corner. Another slider is dealing, but Mike Napoli, how hot is he? 4 home runs last 5 games for Mike Napoli.
Irvin Santana back out here in the 9th inning facing Adam Lind. First pitch breaking ball is in there for a strike. He'll face Lind, Wells, and Overbay looking for that complete game win. Foul tipped and hung on to by Mike Napoli, and it's quickly 0-2. Lind tonight 0 for 3. See the line on Irvin. The 8 punch-outs. Lind pops this one foul. Back behind the plate and into the seats. Back on April the 18th, Santana had the complete game win as you see the bullpen with no action going on. 4 hits allowed in that game up at the Rogers Center, 6 strikeouts and 106 pitches. He's at 106 right now with 8 punch-outs, having allowed 3 hits, all 3 solo home runs. 0-2. Rolled foul.
A good opportunity right now. 0-2. And track that pitch, that down and in slider, pulled it foul. Elevate a fastball up. Good fastball there. Good cheese at 92 off the plate. Now he's going slider. See if he can get another swing and miss.
Got him with a breaking pitch. Napoli chases it down, fires on the first. There's out number 1.
We're talking about being consistent throughout this game. Irvin Santana faced 30 batters, 26 first pitch strikes. Mike Butcher's been preaching that for some time. That's why you see that smile on his face throughout this ballgame. The fact is that he's throwing strikes and attacking the zone.
Here's Vernon Wells, who's 0 for 3, including a strikeout. Wells out to the alley in left center field, a base hit. Reggie over to cut it off, and it goes past him and Rivera. Wells will stop at second. More than likely get credit for a double. And here comes Lyle Overbay.
Fastball 1 and in. Just got too much of the plate. Vernon Wells, a good fastball hitter. Hits it in the alley. But you're trying to cut off, gets by him and gets by Juan Rivera, who's backing him up.
Mike Butcher is going to come out, pay a visit. 110 pitches for Irvin. Fernando Rodney starts to play some catch out in the bullpen. And just yet another extra base hit for the Toronto Blue Jays with 3 home runs and 1 double.
Amazing how well they center up the baseball when you make any kind of mistake at all. I mean, Irvin he's made maybe 3 mistakes this entire game, and they've made him pay for it. Any missed spot, hit it well, but he hasn't missed many spots with that pitch tonight. That slider, fastball, been unbelievable.
Overbay takes strike 1. Blue Jay first baseman 0 for 3, including a strikeout. You've got 2 potential strikeout victims in Overbay and Alex Gonzalez, who's on deck. Oh, 2.
Oh, what a pitch. Mike Butcher came out, got him refocused. A good fastball on the outside corner at 91, and another nasty slider.
Here's the 0-2. Got him with the slider. Down goes Overbay. There's out number 2.
And when you see hitters, good hitters throughout their career having swings like that in the 9th inning, that tells you how good Irvin Santana has been throughout this game. Overbay, this way on front. This is a half swing basically on that slider.
10th strikeout of the night for Irvin Santana. One shy now of tying his career high. He did it back in 2007 against the Texas Rangers. Facing Alex Gonzalez, who's gone down swinging once. Strike one. Gonzalez 0 for 3. Right down the middle. There's strike two.
He's dealing. Boy, Mr. First pitch strike tonight.
On their feet here at the Big A, looking for their 22nd victory of the season. Keep them 5 games back of the Rangers. And Santana looking for his 4th win. 0-2. Fastball on the ground at third. As Sturis has got it. Light that baby up. Irvin Santana with a complete game victory. And his 4th win of the season. 10 strikeout performance. A great job by the youngster tonight.
Irvin Santana was outstanding. 2 CGs on the season against a team with the most explosive offense. Mr. Dealer out there with that fastball at 91, 92. He might have had better velocity in some games this season, but never better location than that. That slider was outstanding. 33 batters faced, 29 first pitch strikes. That's textbook as far as going after him, challenge him. A very aggressive ball club. Have been around the zone throughout the game. The offense responded well. Some good at bats. Bobby Abreu, Eric Ivar, Meister Stores back in the fold. Of course, Mike Napoli going yard again. So many positives with that victory tonight.
Just 1 walk on the night for Irvin Santana. The Angels are now 22-26 in the season. Once again, the final score 8-3 Halos. Stick around for a complete wrap-up of tonight's game with Michael Eaves and Jose Mota as Angels Live is coming up next.